A New York Times Siena poll released by the New York Times last weekend showed Democratic challenger Jason Crow leading Colorado Congressman Mike Coffman by 11 points in the race for the state's 6th congressional district. But Congressman Coffman has won tight races before, and Congressman Coffman joins us now today to talk more about what's ahead. And let's start with that poll.
Sure.
That's a big difference, 11 points.
Yeah, well, I hope they believe that, those numbers. I think the race is a dead heat. And I think that it's obviously a very competitive environment. I don't believe the poll. I hope my opponent does. Let them relax, thinking that those are the numbers.
Well, you've won very tight races before in what has become a changed district.
Sure.
So
I think the diversity is a strength of the district for me. I've been able, I think, a lot of the immigrant districts. I mean, this is a congressional district that is 20% foreign born.
Right.
This is a congressional district. Aurora, Colorado is the largest city at about 370,000, so around half of the congressional district. And the minorities are the majority in Aurora. It's dominated by Hispanic immigrants, by African immigrants, by Asian immigrants. And so what I've been able, and most of them are registered as Democrats. And what I've been able to do is to really work to be a part of those communities, to break the narrative that Republicans, a lot of them believe Republicans aren't just anti-illegal immigration, but they're anti-immigrant.
So you don't find that R is detrimental to your political future?
So in those immigrant communities, what I've been able to do to break through is to get them to identify me and a lot of people in the district, not on a partisan basis, but as their congressman.
Yet we have a president who has had some harsh words for our immigrant community. Nothing has changed with DACA.
Sure.
Why should immigrants in the 6th congressional district or people of color support you?
Well, one thing that I've got a great record of bipartisanship in the Congress. I think the nonpartisan Lugar Institute ranked me as the number 12th most bipartisan member of Congress out of 435. And then I just received an award from an Ohio university that started the Spirit of America Award on bipartisanship. I received their first inaugural award, as well as Congressman Hines, Democrat from the state of Connecticut. I'm in a group called Problem Solvers, which is a group of Republicans and Democrats that have come together to bridge the partisan divide in Washington, D.C. We have a major reform effort
Yet
going
nothing
forward.
has come of that yet.
We believe that we can force a series of reforms. There hasn't been a reform in the House of Representatives since 1923. Too much power in too few hands, with too little getting done for the American people. I think we'd accomplished immigration reform a long time ago on a bipartisan basis. And so we believe that that there will be a narrow majority either way for either party, and that a small group of us have pledged publicly that we will block the nominee of our party for Speaker if we're in the majority unless these changes don't happen. It's very similar to what happened in Colorado in 1988, where you had the gavel amendment, give a vote to every legislator, where the people of Colorado voted to put that in our Constitution that totally changed the culture of our state legislation.
But don't you think that people are getting frustrated? I mean, you see in the polling, and nothing has changed with DACA, for example, and the family separations. Sure. People are tired of waiting to see what their future is.
Sure.
So, I mean, it sounds great that you're on this.
No, I think it's frustrating, and what I do, one of the things that I do is reach out to these communities. So I've been learning Spanish, and did a Spanish talk radio show this morning where we talk about, I do it on a weekly basis, where I talk about those issues and say specifically where these policies are in this administration. One of the big issues in my district, DACA, is for the larger part of the Hispanic community, those of Mexican descent. But for those from El Salvador, which is the second largest, the big issue is temporary protected status. And so I'm working on their behalf with this administration to try and get an extension on temporary protected status.
Well, we will keep watch on that as well. But what are your thoughts on the president's leadership style? What are your thoughts on President Trump?
Oh, I mean, I'm very disappointed in the president's leadership style. I think I separate the policy from the politics, although I certainly, on some policy areas, we have big disagreements on separating children from their parents at the border. When I learned of that, I went down to the border. I went down to El Paso. I visited a detention center. I met with the Border Patrol and other leaders in the Department of Homeland Security about how wrong this policy is, and joined with Republicans and Democrats together to send that message to the administration, and the administration stopped the policy.
Yet we still have families that are separated.
They are coming back together, but yes, I mean the point is that the policy should have never been done in the first place.
But it happened. Okay, one quick question. We have 30 seconds left. Well, how do you feel about ICE? Should it be abolished?
No. When I look at immigration reform, I think there's three important elements. I think number one, we have to have secure borders, and ICE is a part of that. But number two, we need to have policies that will grow our economy. And right now, we need to fix this broken immigration system so that we can grow our economy further with the abilities that immigrants bring to this country. Third is that we have to keep families together. That we have to have an immigration policy that is compassionate.
Congressman Coffman, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Back in a moment.